Western Michigan proved Saturday that the MAC can provide the madness. A breakaway touchdown and a back-breaking injury swung the momentum towards the Broncos, but with the MAC's prodigal son, Dino Babers, avoid the upset to start 2-0.
The defending national champions went down to the wire against number 7 Louisville. Find out if Syracuse men's soccer got back in the win column against its ACC foe. The Orange haven't lost a game in over 11 months. Did that streak stay alive?
Over on Coin, number 6 Syracuse field hockey faced its toughest test yet. SU reignited a Big East rivalry when UConn came to town. Dylan Farquhar's crew fight for its 5th straight win to start her reign. Find out that and so much more with On the Bench. It starts now. Welcome into On the Bench, another new crew, another new week. Ian Nicholas alongside my good friend Jack Gordon. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, Jack, you might be a little sick of me. We were housemates this summer during our internship. Your favorite part of living with me and your least favorite part of living with me.
All right, overall, I am tired of you. You're right. Worst part, I'll start with that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You don't do the dishes enough. You called me the mom of the house because I was always
were very much the mom of the house.
Doing your work. But favorite part, you make me smile. You know, you've always got good jokes. Aww. You're always laughing. You're a jukebox when it comes to catchphrases and songs. Yeah, it's true.
We'll see that throughout the semester, but that was the past. This is the present, and right now, we got to get into our headlines of a week. On Syracuse football's second offensive play this weekend, the Dome went silent. That's because tight end Aronde Gadsden hobbled off the field with an apparent ankle injury. SU's preseason All-American didn't return to play, but did return to the sideline on crutches with a boot over his right foot. The good news? Dino Babers said post-game Gadsden's new injury was to the opposite leg he hurt late in fall camp. However, the head man didn't provide an update yesterday and wouldn't say if the junior's x-rays showed a break.
Well, people are telling me it's football season. Nope. Syracuse women's lacrosse is in the headlines. 6 members of last year's senior group announced their return to the team this season for 5th years. The Cuse return midfielders Emma Tyrell, Savannah Schweitzer, and Caitlin Mashesky. On defense, Hallie Simpkins and Bianca Chevry are back, and goalie Delaney Schweitzer also announced her return.
And in Happy Valley, SU men's cross country won its 2nd straight meet to start the season. The Cuse claimed victory at the Harry Grove Spike Shoe Invite on Penn State's campus. Syracuse dominated, taking the top 4 spots and placing 7 in the top 9. Grad transfer Perry McKinnon led the way in his orange debut. The former Cornell Big Red ran the 5.2-mile course in 25 minutes and 31.1 seconds. That's roughly the amount of time it takes me to get out of bed in the morning.
Ian, you know, I don't doubt that you could run that much, too. You're a beast on the treadmill. I'll give you that.
I dominate. Not a 5-minute mile. I'm no Carl Winter, but I'm close.
You're quick. I'll give you that. Now, if you're a fan of blowouts, I'm sure you love Syracuse football in Week 1. The Cuse demolished Colgate 65-0. The Orange tallied a program record 677 yards and only allowed the Raiders to cross the 50 once. Next task at hand, Western Michigan. The Broncos came riding into town. No, the horse's name wasn't Friday. Saturday afternoon in the JMA Wireless Dome, Dino Babers and company welcome Western Michigan for the 3rd time since 2018. Both squads 1-0. The Broncos start with the ball at their own 25. Second play of the game, running back Jalen Buckley says hello. Hello? Somebody pick up the phone. He's making a house call. Buckley goes 75 yards to the crib, 7-0 Western Michigan. Until Syracuse cut the phone lines and said, hey, we'll take it from here. Sophomore LaQuint Allen gets SU its first touchdown of the season. The Orange take a 10-7 lead. It wasn't close for much longer. The Cuse went on a 48-0 run. This was one of the most spectacular plays of the day. Get to know the name Donovan Brown. The redshirt freshman snags a pass from Garrett Schrader and finds some space. Boom, he's gone. 86-yard touchdown. You're not slowing those wheels. 17-7 SU on top. Second quarter now, Syracuse pulling away. Garrett Schrader, just like always, wills himself into the end zone. He just lays the lumber, and the SU offense keeps on humming. You know, the defense wasn't too shabby either. To end the first half, Jason Simmons says, give me that. The safety picks off Jack Salopek, third career interception, but he's not content. Simmons has his eyes on the prize with a one-way ticket to the end zone. 84-yard pick six for number 6. As if they needed any more juice, Simmons takes the squad into the locker room with a whole lot of it. 45-7 at the break. The bench was emptied in the second half, and SU only put up 3 more points. 48-7 is your final. The Orange outscore their first 2 opponents 113-7. Through 2 games, the offense has been led by a group of receivers you may not totally know yet. Umari Hatcher, Isaiah Jones, and Donovan Brown all have over 150 yards. Ian, any one of them stand out to you the most?
Donovan Brown's play was easily the play of the year for Syracuse, but I'm always impressed, Jack, with Isaiah Jones because he's got the size and the jump ball skills to potentially replace Oronde Gadsden if he is out for the short term. I love what he's doing, back healthy again for the Orange. Now, staying on the gridiron, Syracuse football mourns the passing of Mike Williams. The Buffalo native's agent said the 36-year-old died today at St. Joseph's Hospital in Tampa. Williams had been in intensive care after sustaining injuries from a construction accident. Across 3 seasons with the Orange, the wide receiver recorded over 2,000 yards and 20 scores. Williams was drafted by the Buccaneers in the 4th round of a 2010 NFL draft. After 4 years with the Bucs, the wideout finished his career with his hometown Bills. We'll be right back with On the Bench.
Welcome to my house. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It could help you find a little more breathing room.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Welcome back into On the Bench. Ian Nicholas alongside Jack Gordon. Jack, I know we've already talked football, but we're going to segue to a kicking sport in soccer. And you played a little football back in the day, and you kicked, right?
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah, here and there.
You think that leg would have been good enough to get on the pitch?
Well, I started on the pitch, Ian. That's how I became a kicker, yeah. That's how the story goes. Soccer player converted to kicker. Not for a long time, though. They didn't love me out there.
Unfortunately, they didn't love you enough to be a part of the national championship season last year. You know what might be harder than kicking a football, though? Keeping the longest unbeaten streak in college soccer. Number 4 Syracuse men's soccer had a chance on Saturday to avoid defeat in its 19th match in a row. Its opponent, 7th-ranked Louisville, to start ACC play. First of all, I want you to appreciate the crowd from SU Soccer Stadium. The Orange faithful support, it's important against a Cards team with a pair of top 20 wins. We start in the 11th minute. Brandon McManus, former NFL kicker, no, the soccer player, sends it over to the ACC reigning Offensive Player of the Week, Gage Guerra. He makes it 1-0 Cards. But hold on, just a minute later, Bryce LaBelle for Louisville has his hands in the air. He's saying, I didn't touch him. Well, in all reality, he just unpeeled an Orange player right there. And if you don't believe me or the referees, believe video replay. The foul's not only confirmed, SU's awarded a penalty kick. It's the first penalty kick of the year for SU. Who's going to take it? No one else but Lorenzo Baselli. This guy knows a thing or two about making important penalty kicks. Just ask last year's national championship squad. Ask this year's squad too. He ties it up at 1. From the 12th minute all the way to the 33rd, Syracuse keeps up the pressure, forces a turnover. Giorgio Krzyzewski sends it to the top of the box. Mateo Levesque with the snipe in the right corner. Syracuse takes the lead 2-1. Now Syracuse held this lead all the way to the 89th minute. That's when Louisville got its 6th corner and its 6th goal of the year from Gage Guerra. The Army transfer prancing all around the pitch because even though Syracuse outshot the Cards by 11 in this game, they couldn't get that 3rd goal and they walk away with a 2-2 draw. Now in any other season, Jack, that would be a pretty good result. When you're coming off the heels of a national championship, you are going to be targeted every single game.
Well, Ian, last year's team, they didn't have these expectations. You know, they started as kind of a nobody and skyrocketed towards the end of the season. Obviously won the national championship. This year, you come in as the #1 team. Everybody wants to get you. The hunter became the hunted. Now, Syracuse had a game today. They were expected to beat Siena, but that wasn't the case, mainly because the Orange just didn't get the chance to do so. After plenty of rain, the game was called in the second half, a no contest at 0-0. So how about we take this deep dive into this game? There's no better way to do so than talk to the man that's watched this team from the start, and we will in just a moment. It was a scoreless one, Ian. Syracuse, again, it won't go down as a tie, a no contest. The offense just didn't show up. It ended around the 56th minute or so. 2 shots from Gabriel McKenna, Lorenzo Baselli. Just nothing could fall. They couldn't find it on offense tonight.
No, they couldn't, and I'm sure our beat reporter Adam Gotkin will tell us more in just a second about it. Lorenzo Baselli, he gets 2 important shots, but ultimately those shots do not fall, and for an Orange team that you would really expect to pick up at least a goal against Siena, a team that you see it on the left-hand corner of your screen, without a win through 4 games, you would really expect Syracuse to get something on the board.
Now, it's a much different team from last year, and we're going to talk to Adam about everything about this team. So, Adam, you know, you were at this game in the rain. It didn't look too hot, and a 0-0 tie. We'll get to Adam in just a moment against Siena. Doesn't go down as a tie. It's a no contest, and we'll find out what our beat reporter Adam has to say in just a moment. Ian, again, I mean, the Syracuse team had lofty expectations this season. They didn't necessarily achieve them so far. They started one. They've tied a couple of times. They had a tie to Penn State, to Louisville the other night. That didn't exactly go as planned. Are they living up to your expectations?
Honestly, yes. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but at the end of the day, they've done a really good job in the important games, but they haven't done great in the midweek. Same thing as last year, though. They struggled in the midweek, but they got it done when they needed to. They've got a lot of new pieces, Jack. I think they're going to figure it out on a more consistent basis sooner rather than later.
Now, the fact that they have new pieces, do you think that helps them? Because people talk about the championship hangover, whether guys come back and maybe they don't care as much as they once did. Do you think it helps that all these guys are new? They weren't actually the ones to do it?
They want to continue the trend here at Syracuse, right? This is not a blue blood program. This is a team that was unranked to start last season and went on an unbelievable run under an unbelievable coach in Ian McIntyre. You don't have Nathan Opoku, he's in the Premier League now. You don't have Russell Shealy, one of the best goalies in all of college soccer last year. But these guys coming from all across the country want to prove they can get it done on the biggest stage. They're hungry to get it done with the Syracuse team. We'll move on now from one pitch to another. You might not think a 1-4 UConn squad would be a big test for number 6 Syracuse field hockey, but don't let the numbers fool you. A Big East battle is back when OTB comes back in just a few.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Us alongside Jack Gordon, and we move from one pitch to another with Syracuse field hockey, playing a Big East foe in UConn. But Jack, you're a Syracuse native. You know Syracuse athletics more than just the ACC. You know the Big East too. And what's your favorite memories from Syracuse in the Big East across athletics?
Oh, that's a great question, Ian. The obvious answer, it's Syracuse men's basketball, those Big East matchups. And I'd have to go the Big East tournaments that were in Madison Square Garden. Those were so fun to watch. You had some bloodbaths in there. The Syracuse, UConn, Georgetown, St. John's. The memories just are endless.
Talk about storybook seasons. UConn men's basketball won the national championship earlier this year, and while Huskies field hockey doesn't seem like a national title contender right now, but it opened the season ranked number 15. So UConn now outside the top 20 because of 3 tight losses to ranked foes. But would Syracuse, a top 10 team in its own right, best its former conference rival? Because all time, Jack, you want to talk about memories, the Huskies have dominated. They've won 30 of 45 games against Syracuse field hockey. Nobody dominated this game early. Scoreless 27 minutes in. Then Wilhelmine Bogert cleans up the mess on the corner, and Syracuse goes ahead 1-0 before the break. Midway to the third, SU pulls off a flawless, clean APC. All-American Apka Vanden Nieuwenhof makes it 2-0. Now Syracuse outshot UConn by 14, fired 7 shots in the final frame alone. Things didn't get ugly for the Huskies because goalie Natalie McKenna made 9 saves, but it was not enough. Syracuse got its first shutout of the campaign and remained one of the 4 unbeaten teams in the country with a 3-0 win. And the big reason why Syracuse is dominating this season is because they are just getting corner after corner.
Ian, speaking of corners, I mean, Pekka Vandepas, she has just been incredible. There's no doubt Vandepas has been an instant impact on this Syracuse team. Our CitrusTV field hockey beat reporter Max Gifford tells us just how good the midfielder has been.
Well, the first day I came here, everyone was so nice to me and they took me everywhere, and all the teammates were like, if you have to be somewhere, I can take you. They were so nice, and that's when I knew everyone is so good for me, and I knew I was in the right place.
It's not every day a rookie comes in the form of a graduate student. Enter midfielder Pekka Vandepas. Hailing from Weert in the Netherlands, Vandepas comes to Syracuse from Mop Dames A in the promotion class, the second highest level of competition in all of Dutch hockey. And although coming to the States can be daunting, the grad says it was the university's athletic culture that brought her to the 315.
The thing that we live for the sport here. In my country, it's I have to work besides it, and it's just practice in the evening, and then you have a lot of different and other things to do. But here's we live for the sport here, and that's what I love the most. That you wake up in the morning and you know you're gonna play hockey all day, and I love that.
Vandepas is one of 8 Dutch players on the Orange this season, and while the midfielders enjoyed having teammates close to home, she's enjoyed the opportunity to join a global brand like SU.
It's also very nice to have a lot of different countries and different people here that you can share your stories with. So it helped a little bit, but it's also nice to have very different people in the team.
In 2023, Vandepas has taken Syracuse by storm. In her first 3 games donning the orange and blue kit, the grad student has collected a conference-leading 16 points. The midfielder sits atop the statistical rankings in nearly every offensive category in the ACC, but her teammates and coaches see her impact just as much off the pitch as they do on it.
Her mentality is the main drive that's always for her to focus in on, okay, how can I push to be better? How can I push to score a goal? Her main focus is always on attack. She's developed it there throughout the years.
I mean, she's a fantastic player on the ball. Even better than that, she's an amazing person. And that really helps our team effort. And you can see that, right? She's a grad student coming in, and we're thankful to have her.
First of all, she's an amazing person, but she's bringing so much for the team. She's working hard every single day, and I'm able to connect with her on the field, which is very, very nice.
Reporting for CitrusTV, I'm Max Gifford.
Vandepas has led the way for the Syracuse field hockey team. They have just been incredible, thriving so far. And women's soccer, well, Ian, they're struggling right now. Coming off of 2 straight losses, the Orange had a little bit of traveling to do. First over to the Ivies, the Cuse went to Cambridge to take on Harvard. 2-4 Syracuse squaring off with 2-1 Harvard. Goalie Shea Vanderbosch with a tall task ahead. This Harvard team led the Ivies in scoring last season, over 3 goals per game. The Crimson started this one off doing what they do best, running fast and playing offense. Look at the cross from Smith Hunter. That's on the money to Ava Lung. A phenomenal header puts Harvard up 1-0. That's not enough, though. Beautiful touch passing from this Crimson offense to find the open woman. It's Hannah Burbar. She capitalizes on this perfect ball movement. Harvard goes up 2-0 just 15 minutes into the game. But it got worse. Another great cross in front of the goal. Jade Rose puts a perfect ball on net for Hannah Burbar's second goal of the day. The Crimson just kept putting the pressure on, this time from way out. It's Susie Long. Yes, Susie Long from long range. The freshman nails this shot to take a 4-goal lead. The Orange in quite the hole. Kendall Lauer tries to change that. Great hustle to keep this ball. Plays it in front. Anna Rupert takes advantage of a nice pass and finishes. Down by 3, getting late in the second half, SU's leader on offense, Erin Fleury, fights through traffic, pops one out from deep. That cuts the deficit to 2. Crimson back on offense here, only a 2-goal game. The Canadian, Audrey Francois, one-on-one, beats her defender, puts the shot past Shea Vanderbosch. That's the nail in the coffin right there. 5-2, Harvard beats Syracuse. 3 days later, though, the Cuse head to Fairfield. The Stags at 2-3-1, the Orange 2-5. 30 seconds into the first half, Syracuse on offense here. Erin Fleury is wide open after this cross. Look at the golden opportunity right in front of the net. Can't capitalize. Now later on, Fairfield pushing on the offensive end. Maddie Terrio, one-on-one. She gets wide open. The goalie came to play. Shea Vanderbosch, the sophomore, had 5 saves. Second half action now. Still scoreless. The Stags on offense. Maddie Terrio breaks away again, but knocked down to the ground. It's a red card for Kate Murphy. Penalty was outside of the box. The Orange down to 10 players facing pressure. Under 3 to go. Terrio all by herself, the forward. This time she puts the brakes on. Looks for an option. Syracuse defense, they were stout. Defense stayed strong despite being down by a player. They played tough. 0-0. That's the draw. Cuse and Harvard. Syracuse women's soccer drops to 2-5-1 after a rough weekend. It's been a tough season overall. The Orange sit in the bottom half of the ACC in almost every important statistic. Up next for the Cuse is the first ACC game of the season. Syracuse heads to Miami for a Friday showdown. Coming up next on the bench, we take a look at the performers of the week, also the top plays of the week. The stars are shining bright tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time is winding down here on the bench. We're almost done. Alongside Ian Nicholas, I'm Jack Gordon. Ian, the performers have been incredible this week. We've talked about how every team did this week, but there is an Ian team, right?
Well, there's an I in Ian, but I'm not much of a team player. Hopefully I can round this thing out in style and work with you as our new team.
Come on, man. New team. You have to be a team player.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to be less of a solo guard.
All right, fine. Let's talk about the individuals that shine the brightest. Those are our top performers. Our number 3 performer of the week, the leader of the men's soccer team, Lorenzo Baselli. He has been incredible. The engine of this offense. The senior leads the way with 4 goals this year. Baselli scored a penalty kick against Louisville to take a 1-0 lead. He's really been the tone setter for this SU team. In a new role, too, bumped up from the midfield last year up to the forward position.
Somebody who's also done a lot of scoring for his respective team. Somebody who scored not once, not twice, but but thrice over the weekend in Syracuse football's win against Western Michigan. Running back LaQuinn Allen only took him 8 carries to do so. All 3 of his runs were goal line plunges for the New Jersey native. So his first one went for 1 yard, his second one went for 1 yard. You get what I'm talking about here. LaQuinn proved he could do it all in week 1 with nearly 20 carries for over 100 yards in just the first half against Colgate. He backed it up with the physicality, though, in week 2 against the Broncos.
Now, Ian, LaQuinn Allen was great, right? But have you heard the name Efke van de Nieuwenhof? Now,
I love it.
I mentioned a leader of the men's soccer team. How about a leader of the field hockey team? One of the best teams on campus. Efke van de Nieuwenhof is tearing it apart this season. The team's 5-0 for a reason. She leads the squad in goals with 7 and in points with 17. She's been one of the best players on this team for years and is really showcasing it this season. A hat trick against Cornell, another goal against UConn. She's just been amazing.
You've got 2 All-Americans on this team, and Charlotte DeVries and Efke van de Nieuwenhof. And if this team wants to go to a national championship, Efke has to continue to play the way she's been playing.
Now, it's an incredible team, but speaking of incredible, it's time to look at our top plays of the week. These might make your eyes pop out of your head. Starting at 5, Syracuse women's soccer, scoreless against Fairfield. Here's the shot from deep. We'll show you the save that Shea Vanderbosch made. It was incredible. Number 5 on our list, take a look at this. Syracuse and Fairfield. The shot from deep. Vanderbosch dives to her right. Look at the cat-like reflexes. Dives, makes the save. What an incredible play by the Syracuse goalie.
Well, play number 4 also includes a diving effort, Jack, but a catch instead of a deflection. We go to Garrett Schrader early on against Western Michigan. Down the seam, he's got Isaiah Jones. Goes up like the big man, a little Randy Moss impersonation for 30 yards to set up Syracuse's first touchdown of the game. Isaiah Jones needs to do more of that. Maybe without Aronde Gatson in the lineup, Syracuse wins 48-7.
Jones has been incredible, but coming in at number 3, Syracuse football stomped all over Western Michigan. 48-7. Here's Jack Salapak, the Broncos QB. He struggled, threw the ball to the wrong team. Ian, we call that an interception around these parts. Jason Simmons was there to pick it off, and when Simmons takes it 84 yards all the way to the house with some help from the blockers, some incredible stops by them, it's called a pick 6. Have it, Jason Simmons.
As Joe Buck said last night, there were no flags on the play. Somehow, some way. Number 2, we go back to the pitch. Syracuse women's soccer. Aaron Fleury, one of the lone bright spots on this team, a screamer from over 20 yards out on the road against Harvard. A late rally from the Orange on this beautiful strike from its leading scorer. Unfortunately, Harvard does win 5-2.
That's number 2, but at number 1, our top play of the week. What an honor. What a distinction. It goes to Hattie Madden. Syracuse field hockey against Cornell on Wednesday. Look at this snipe from Madden. Top corner, the perfect shot. Congrats to Hattie Madden for our number 1 play of the week. Now, Ian, you know plenty about this Syracuse field hockey team. They've been rock solid all season long. You think they're a contender this year?
Oh, they're easily, right? They moved up a spot in the rankings each of the last 2 weeks because they haven't been upset, right? A lot of the top teams in the country have gone down in at least one game, but Syracuse has been tested both against a UConn team that was top 20 to start the year and against a Cornell team, a CNY rival that went back and forth with them. This team has good veterans, but also good young players. And ultimately, I really like what first-year head coach Lynn Farquhar has done to galvanize a really different group of players than last year's team under Ange Bradley.
Now, you got some returners. You got Efke van de Nieuwenhof, Charlotte DeVries. How much have they meant for this team this season?
Oh, they mean everything, right? I mean, Charlotte DeVries said in December she was not coming back for a 5th year with the team. Reverse course, and having a 4-time All-American back with your team, it's everything. But I really like what Efke van de Nieuwenhof has done. She's a beast on the set corners, and she's one of the best center backs in the entire country.
Well, new coach, a brand new group of players, but some returners. We'll see what that team can do. Arguably the best on campus. It's tough to say.
Tough to say. I would say right now, though, they're the only top 10 team on campus that hasn't lost. Both them and men's soccer, very good.
Well, that's all we've got for you tonight with Ian Nicholas. I'm Jack Gordon. Make sure to tune in next time down the bench.